Okay, let's get into it. This is the Stormgar 5th level Transmuter Mage video in my series looking at this villain for your campaign that you might want to use. He's a wizard that specializes in the transmutation school of magic, and he has entered a new phase of his life, going to tier 2 now, which is officially Heroes of the Realm, but of course he is a villain of the realm. He's not evil though, he's just chaotic. He wants to change the world. That's why he got into transmutation magic. He wants to... Something is wrong with the world as far as he's concerned, and transmutation magic is the way that he plans to fix it. Anyway, at this stage, if you're using Stormgar in your campaign or adventure, he doesn't have to look like what I have been putting up on screen so far. And this is especially true because he can cast Alter Self now and look like anyone, basically. So feel free to, play with that and, fit him into your campaign as best that you need. The 5th level gives a proficiency bonus +3, so that's a general boost for all of the skills and attacks and things like that. So it's a bit of a boring dynamic, but it is quite powerful. And the Alter Self spell is quite interesting. He can change his appearance, but also he can do things like swim and breathe water and grow natural weapons like claws or fangs or horns, and do extra damage, and that damage actually counts as +1. So that gives him some additional combat options. He is proficient in these natural weapons as well as part of that spell, and that lasts for an hour, so he is definitely becoming something else. Finally, he got another cantrip, Control Flames. There's still 3 more to go till he's got all of the transmutation cantrips. Basically, that's what I want him to have all of the transmutation spells that he is able to cast. So he's got all of the 1st and 2nd spells, and as we'll see this video, the 3rd level spells. And it's just these cantrips that are, making it a bit difficult. Alright, so the 3rd level spells that he gained was Water Breathing, Tiny Servant, Slow, Haste, Gaseous Form, Flame Arrows, Fly, Erupting Earth, and Blink. Blink's interesting because it gets him onto the ethereal plane. Erupting Earth is a kind of attack. Fly is always interesting, especially now that he's running away. He likes to run away and shoot from a distance, so that'll help with that. Flame arrows, he doesn't have anything that shoots arrows, so we're going to fix that when we talk about his equipment. Gaseous Form is kind of fun. I could really see him using that spell a lot. Haste, either on himself or slow on the enemy in order to get away. Water Breathing, I'm not so sure whether that is needed with Alter Self, but it's there and he can cast it as a ritual. And then Tiny Servant, I didn't really want him to have any familiars and things like that, but I guess these are sort of like almost like Beauty and the Beast, little clockwork things like the candlestick and the clock and the teapot running around helping him out for a short period of time and then reverting back to their non-magical object. Could be fun. Alright, maybe, yeah, Beauty and the Beast. Is there a romance in Stormgar's future? Let me know in the comments if you think there should be. Also, if there are any other transmutation spells from other books and they're in your campaign, Stormgar should have access to them. He basically, that's one of the key things about this character is it's all transmutation. Since third level was opened up, the other rule that I'm sort of developing is that I can fill in some of the lower level spells that aren't transmutation that I think he might have. So I chose comprehend languages because I thought if he is going to be a bit tricky and a bit of a spy using stealth and alter self and his disguise kit to spy on people, that comprehend languages would be a good spell for that. It also sort of fits into him later, as we'll see. Detect thoughts also, once again, this helps him with this sort of spy job that he's got. But also in the story that I wrote with him, in that story his name was Polymorphus. He is more of an agent of karma as well. So I thought this detect thoughts, comprehend languages would be an interesting way for him to use a bit of that. I thought the Arcanist's magic aura would be interesting, especially if the wizard mafia are basically selling magical, in quotation marks, weapons or things that are magic, which actually may not be magic. And so they're probably ripping people off. And that's maybe a good window for the players getting involved with this organized crime is they go to the magic shop, as everyone wants to do after an adventure, and they get ripped off by buying non-magical stuff or stuff that was magical but then an hour later isn't. Another weird thought I had was Tasha's hideous laughter, in terms of what if people paid for that as like a drug? Like, what if people sought out that experience, laughter and having fun, and paid the wizards to cast it upon them so that they would feel happy and hysterically, funny. I thought that was an interesting idea, and that's why I gave him this spell, that maybe some of these so-called battle spells or combat spells or spells that have combat applications could actually be sought out during times of peace by people who maybe there's even, addicts to this sort of these spells, Maybe somebody has found that they can't laugh any other way now, that they have to have this spell cast upon them, and that at other times in their life they feel that nothing is funny and they don't get any joy whatsoever. I think that's an interesting place to go, but I don't know if that fits into your campaign, but it certainly fits into my ideas about this criminal gang of wizards abusing the system. Anyway, Stormgar can now cast 2 more spells as a ritual, which is comprehend languages and water breathing. So that's pretty good actually, and that's probably why he would keep that spell, water breathing, except for the fact that it's also a transmutation spell. He gets some new equipment, so he has that flaming arrows spell, so I thought, well, he's got to have some arrows so he can use it. So I thought, okay, I'll give him a crossbow. In this case, I've given him a light crossbow +1, which he's proficient in. And if you don't like him having the sling, you can take the sling off him. I actually had a strange thought. Since the sling bullets were +1, if you use the +1 sling bullet in the catapult spell, would that give it a +1 to hit or something? Well, I guess it's a dex saving throw anyway, so that has no effect. Anyway, I digress. With the crossbow, he gets the crossbow bolts and the crossbow case, so that's on his character sheet. And I gave him a bit more money just to, because he's cashing up. So what do you think? Is there anything that you think should be done differently? Of course, it's, if you're going to use him in your campaign, you can do it as you want. For example, it doesn't have to be male, could be female. At this level, the origins could be slightly different, could be anything. Up to you to decide that. But he is changing. I'm going to keep calling him he because that's how I envisioned him. Anyway, he is changing. He is no longer a pawn of the mafia. He's going up in the ranks, but he's probably a little bit dissatisfied with that because he's not that interested in swindling people. I'm sure as a youth he thought that was kind of fun in a crazy kind of a way, but he has this sort of not revenge, but his own personal quest that he wants to change the world or fix the world with magic. And so he's probably starting to get itchy feet thinking about how he's going to do that, and perhaps his place in the wizard mafia is becoming less important to him. He's still going to be a lieutenant or something like that, but he might be looking for a way out, and maybe we'll talk about that in another level. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please like the video and comment on anything. Let me know if you've got any suggestions for transmutation spells or even magical items that he could have. We'll start getting the more wizardy magical items coming up. And I hope you're enjoying this series. I'm actually enjoying making it. It's quite good to develop my ideas further and really drill down on to what I was thinking with this character. I have played him as a sort of villain puppet master, moving the pieces off the board, so it's interesting to sort of get into the nitty gritty of it. So anyway, hope you're enjoying it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.